Good morning, ViPR chemistry students. Hey, we'd like to extend our understanding of the history behind the model of the atom. You know, what we know about the model of the atom, and we call that the atomic structure. And so now we know that matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms, but at this point in time, we also know that there are subatomic particles. So, how did that happen? And so, from a historical perspective, we would have to take a look at the late 1800s and the early 1900s and some really interesting experiments that were done. So if we take a look at one that's called the cathode ray tube, it was basically just a glass tube that they were able to uh, emit a stream of electrons. Today we know those are electrons, but it was a stream of what they thought was kind of a light, something like light, similar to light, that went from a negative to a positive cathode. And so today we know that is electrons because it was that stream of electrons was able to be deflected by negative charge. So that was kind of one of the key experiments that led to our understanding of electrons. Now, J.J. Thomson is the person who's kind of given credit for that. Um, the other thing, another interesting experiment Robert Millikan conducted called the Millikan oil drop experiment. If you look at how that happened, that was an extremely interesting phenomena. So he was able to establish the mass of an electron by looking at charged oil droplets that fell down through. If we go here, this is his apparatus, and it falls down through a tube, and then he could make an opposing charge. Well, it turns out that all of his numbers were multiples of the number you see here. So this 9.1 times 10 to the negative 28 was a multiple. Well, now we know that is literally being the mass of an electron in grams. Okay, so moving forward then, now that they have established that there are these electrons and they're negatively charged, they also established in an interesting experiment by Ernest Rutherford um, that there is also a nucleus that is positive charge. And so it's called the gold foil experiment. And what they did was he shot radioactive material called alpha particles. Now, alpha particles are literally two protons and two neutrons. They're the same nucleus of a helium atom. And so he was able to shoot those things through gold foil and then look at the patterns that are of deflection and the fact that some of them just went right through. So that led to a better understanding of the atom. Take a look at those. Today, we know that the atomic model of the atom includes a central nucleus that's positively charged, but we also know there are neutrons, and that the electrons literally exist in cloud-like structures around the outside of the nucleus. So that's the modern day atomic structure model. Um, if you can, click on some of the links that show the experiments and try to think about the structure of the atom from a historical perspective. All right. Thank you for watching. Talk to you next time.